Hello, Mr. Jonathan here with Virtually BGCMC. In this video, I'm going to show you how to draw the Mandalorian from Star Wars. So in this drawing, we're going to be working with a lot of geometric shapes here. If you want, I'm going to be drawing freehand the whole time, but if you want to use a ruler or any kind of straight edge to help you, please feel free to do so. Sometimes it helps using a ruler to get nice straight lines and make sure everything's nice and even. But again, I'm just going to go freehand, see how it turns out. Now, once you get the curve here for the top of the helmet, we're going to go straight down. Actually, these lines for the side of the helmet aren't going to go completely straight. They are going to angle down this way just a little bit. I like to do each side before going down to the bottom, just so I can make sure these two lines are pretty even. Okay. Try to make sure they end at the same spot. I'm feeling this one is a little bit lower than here, so let me drop this down just a little bit. And then once you get these two lines how you like them, we're going to, you know what, I'm going to put the vertical midline in here first, and I'm going to tell you why. So as I put the vertical midline in here, this is going to help us with a few things. The first thing would be, as we bring these 2 points down here, we want them to meet in the middle, right? And this midline is going to give us a target for where they would meet. If this was not here, it would be a lot more difficult to get these two lines to be even. So maybe one line would be longer than the other. So this midline helps a lot. Now from here, we're going to go down this way. Notice it's a pretty big angle going downwards here. There we go. Once you get your helmet shape in place, we're going to come over here to the side, not right at the corner here, but we're going to go inside of that just a little bit. Angle the shoulders down this way. Well, what this is really guiding us here to draw is this part here, which is the cape that he has over his shoulders. So we got our primary shapes in place. It looks a lot different from our usual draw-alongs, but let's keep pushing forward here. We're gonna get these two stripes in here going across, right? The first one you want to make pretty close to where this curve breaks into a straight line. You want to get around that area. It doesn't have to be right there. Maybe a little bit below is going to be good. And we're going to get a line going straight across this way. Okay. And right below that, we're going to get another stripe going across. You want the stripe to be pretty thin. If you're having trouble drawing straight lines all the way through, one thing that works for me, and it might work for you as well, is as you're drawing your line, if you're drawing it little by little, well, actually, I already finished this line here. So let me show you on the next one. But we got our two stripes in place, and then we're going to make this part here, which is pretty much the visor on his helmet, where I'm assuming that's where he looks out of, and it's like, you know, it's colored in black. It looks like a plastic plate over his helmet from what I could tell. But anyways, we're going to make this T shape here the way we're going to do that is, again, about the same distance from here to here. We're going to drop down like this. And then on this side, we're going to come over. You don't want to get too close to the midline here, because as you can tell, this line is a lot thicker than the one on top. So we want this to be a little bit wider than the other lines here. But anyways, if you're drawing a straight line or having trouble drawing a straight line, what I do is I'll draw part of it first, right? And then as I draw the next part, I don't start from the end of this line and continue through. What I do is I'll jump back a little bit, and then I'll follow the line through and then go all the way down to continue the line. The reason why I do that is because if you start right at the end of this line, you might, your motion might veer off one way or another, right? But if you start back here and you follow the line, then you kind of continue its path, and then you can follow all the way through. So it's kind of like practicing the motion a little bit, and then you go draw the line through it like that. Okay. I'm gonna be drawing these lines dark already. That's because, well, I've done this draw along a few times by now, and I'm pretty sure of the lines that I'm gonna keep and the lines that I'm going to erase. So I know I'm gonna keep these lines here. I'll go ahead and make them dark. There we go. All right, then we're gonna do the same thing over here on the other side. So you wanna try to make sure this line going across this way is at the same level of this line. If you need to draw a guideline going all the way through like this, you could draw that guideline and then just erase the parts that you don't need later. For me, I'm just gonna eyeball it. I think that's close enough. Okay. And then you want to stop this line at about the same distance from the midline as this one. So right now, this one I know is too far to this way, to the right. So I need to bring it in just a little bit. There we go. Now that's a little too far in. So let me erase a little bit. There we go. That looks good. And then again, we're going to drop this line going down this way. All right, pretty simple so far. Next we're gonna jump over here and do these little ear parts. So I'm starting from the second line here, or this middle one, and then I'm gonna go out this way. Drop the line going down. You could curve this line a bit if you'd like. It's really up to you if you want to keep it completely straight or add a little curve to it. If you add a curve to it, it's going to make it look a lot more realistic, because you know, when you look at this helmet, the angles aren't all completely straight. There is some roundness to it, but for the sake of the drawing, you know, it makes it a little bit more simple if you're keeping things lined straight and all that. All right, so from here, we're going to start working with a few 3D looking shapes here. We're going to start from the top of the helmet, work our way down. So for this shape, the way I break it down that makes it pretty simple is we'll do this middle part here first. So we'll go to the top and just draw a little dash going this way. Okay. Then from here on these sides going down, you don't want them completely straight. Again, there is a little bit of an angle to them. So we'll go down this way. You want to stop pretty well above this line here. So notice that distance, how far up I stopped from here. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing coming down here. And when we connect these 2 points, again, we don't want to use a straight line here. There is a little bit of a curve. So I'm going to add a curve here. Like that, okay? So now we have this shape in place. Once we have this shape in place, it's pretty much just a matter of adding these lines here to make it look like a 3D form. The first thing I like to do is come up here to the top corner and then draw angle going down this way until it meets with the top of the helmet. We'll do that on both sides. Okay. And then we're going to come down here to the bottom corners and try to match this same kind of angle here going down to the top of this stripe. Okay, same thing on this side. All right. Here's the part that could get kind of tricky. So from this corner, we're going to go up just a little. Okay. And then here, again, up just a little bit. All right. And now from these two ends, we're gonna draw a line and connect. Once you get that line in there, you're gonna notice now it starts to look like a 3D shape. Okay. You don't wanna make the mistake of going from this end to this end, okay? That could get kind of confusing there. You want to make sure you do these parts going up that way. All right. Now we're going to work some details on the bottom of the helmet. If you could tell the difference in these two areas here. Here we have the helmet coming down to a point. Here there's a gap and then it's filled in here. So what we're going to do is come up here just a little bit from the bottom. Again, add a curved line going straight across. Okay, and see, and once we put this line here, now we have that gap. I could erase this midline right here so you can see its true shape. Nice little trick to make a nice even helmet. All right, and now moving on to the cheek area of the helmet here, I like to start off with these big curves going up and around. So this little corner here, I'll come inside just a little bit. And get this curve. I'll draw this one lightly first just because it's a little bit harder to get exactly right. And then once I'm satisfied with how they look, then I'll darken them up. So again, doing the same thing on this side. Try to get them to be to match the curve of these lines, to match as much as you can. Again, this is a more organic shape that we're working with, whereas all these are kind of more a lot more geometric. So the organic shapes, the ones with a lot of curve, like natural curves to them, these are a little bit tougher to get to match. So really take your time here. Okay. There we go. It's not too bad. I think what I want to do is darken up all these edges now. Okay. I think what I'm going to do is leave the guidelines in here just so you can see a difference on. We're not using a lot of guidelines on this one, but just so you can see the difference again between the clean version and the more sketched out type version. Okay, so from here, I'm going to go to this corner, drop an angle going down this way, okay, to about there. And what I like to do, you probably noticed by now, before I finish one side, I like to match each thing I do from side to side. That, for me, that just makes it a little bit easier to get things symmetrical, like the same on both sides. And plus, say if I complete this side and then okay, gonna jump back in here. So say if I finish this side, all done, and then I start working on this side and I notice that I need to adjust something here then it's going to be a lot more work for me to go back and correct one side if it's complete already. So I like to jump back and forth and just try to make sure everything matches. Now from here, I'm going to go in this way. And that's going to leave us with this triangle shape here on the cheek. That's what you're looking for. And same thing on this side here. All right. And then to finish off the helmet, I'm going to go on the point of this triangle, and the target we're aiming for is this corner here. So we're going to get a curve going this way. Okay, not too bad. That one came out pretty good. Then same thing on this side. There we go. All right. We're going to work our way down here to the cape area. This is a guideline here. So what I'm going to do first is come this way, curl up here, and then drop down. Okay. Then fill that in. This corner here, we're going to start at this corner, curve down this way. And this is the part where you could draw a little more loosely, right? I'm not trying to get exact straight lines or perfect curves or anything, just kind of letting it flow here. I think if you take that approach, then your cape is going to look a lot more natural. There we go. Nice. Get a nice crease going across here. And then one here as well. All right. So once we have this cape here wrapping around his neck, then we got his little armor piece here. I'll do the part in the middle first, again, just because, working from the middle out, usually it's a good way to make sure that both sides are symmetrical. Okay, so do this little dip here in the middle first, and then just draw the shoulders. Or actually, this is more like on his collarbone here. It's the breastplate of his armor, right? So just go all the way out to the edge. Okay, there we go. Not bad. And then, now's the time where if you need to clean anything up, you could do that. And then even if you want to color this in, that would be even better. If you want to shade this part, I'll go ahead and shade it in. Just do a quick shading job here. But yeah, if you wanted to color this in and you never seen the Mandalorian before, he's pretty much all silver, his armor. Then this part would be colored in black. I believe his cape is a dark gray color. Maybe even a brown. I know he has a brown strap going across his chest, but we didn't draw that. And there we go, the Mandalorian. So thank you for joining this draw along. Hope you had a good time, and we will catch you next time. Bye, everyone.